No DQ Galaxy, we are live with a recap of Monday Night Raw for May 29th, 2023, Memorial Day. Shout out to everybody watching this video, whether it's live or on demand. Much appreciation for everybody watching. Now, let's get right into this show. Coming off the Night of Champions premium live event, we had a video package showing the highlights, and then the new Raw World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins, made his entrance, came down to the ring through the crowd, even posed for a woman's video that she was recording on her phone. She was very happy about that. Pyro went off. We had some streamers, big celebration, the red carpet, the whole 9 yards. Crowd chanted, "You deserve it," at Seth Freakin Rollins. He said that Raw now has a champion that wants to be there and is ready to fight. AJ Styles, who last time I checked was on the SmackDown brand, made his appearance. AJ Styles came down to the ring, congratulated Styles, said that Rollins doesn't deserve anything because Rollins earned everything. Rollins offered a handshake to Styles. They shook hands. The sportsmanship was shown. But then Judgment Day interrupted. I mean, it's Monday Night Raw. It's typical WWE when we have somebody interrupt a promo. It just happens every single time. We can never have a deviation from it. Every time there must be an interruption. Judgment Day showed up, made fun of the sportsmanship, and basically they said that one of them will take Rollins' title, and then a challenge was issued for a tag team match. Dominic got heavily booed as usual. Rollins and Styles accepted the match. So for one night only, brand to brand invitational, wild card rule, whatever the hell they want to call it, one time only, a SmackDown guy will be competing on Monday Night Raw. So there you go. We had our first match of the evening, which was a Money in the Bank qualifier. Ricochet versus The Miz. Miz is basically enhancement talent at this point, but I was not really sure who was going to win this because, well, The Miz could end up winning, and he's won Money in the Bank before, but Miz being in it really means nothing when he just immediately lost the title after winning it. Endeavor representative sent in a $2 super chat, says, "How did I call this stupid crap from a mile away?" Well, if you've been watching WWE more than a few years, a lot of this stuff you can quite easily, I must say. So pretty good match here between Ricochet and Miz. Back and forth a little bit. They traded some near falls, but in the end, Ricochet picked up the victory with the shooting star press. And earlier, he did a moonsault coming off the ring post for momentum to the outside of the ring. Ricochet, he's definitely been doing pretty well since Triple H took over. And I think if Ricochet starts losing every week, then you really have reason to believe that Vince is truly back in charge. But yeah, Ricochet in Money in the Bank definitely makes sense. He's a high flyer. He does all the cool stuff. I mean, yeah, I'm all for it. Miz, I just feel bad for the guy. He's basically enhancement talent at this point. We had a Trish Stratus promo, and she said it doesn't mean anything to her that the fans are thanking her. She talked about how Becky Lynch can now go into her dark hole, and then Trish introduced her new friend, Zoey Stark. Zoey was wearing a Thank You Trish t-shirt. Zoey cut a promo, said that she could have taken the difficult road. However, she decided to be smart and learn from Trish Stratus. Becky Lynch arrived. She was not going home to her dark hole. She was ready to fight, and she did get into a brawl, but the numbers game caught up with her, and she was laid out. And I'm wondering, where is Lita? Maybe they're setting up a tag team match. Lita will come back and help Becky, and we'll get Becky and Lita versus Trish and Zoey. I'm all for that, but yeah, I think a lot of people are wondering whatever happened to Lita at this point. And Trish Stratus had a bruised up face coming off of the pay-per-view or premium live event match. Becky, I guess, just doesn't have any friends because nobody came out there to help her. Endeavor representative sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, blatant crowd noise piping. I'm reporting this. Please do. And you could even hear what chants from the crowd, and maybe those were getting turned down, but I definitely heard them a little bit. Moving on here, we had an Indus Sher squash match. I did not care about this. And this Raw crowd in Albany, New York was pretty hot for this show, but they were quiet for this. Quite frankly, I don't see any upside with these guys. They're like the big, I'm a mean, tough guy, but I just don't buy into it. Like, they're very generic, in my opinion. Just the generic 80s, get two big guys in there, and they're badasses. But like, I think the Viking Raiders do a much better job of what Indus Sher is supposed to be. I'm just not feeling it. We had the tag team champions, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, come to the ring for a promo. Crowd was loving Sami Zayn. They were singing his song. They chanted his name. Zayn was very happy and rubbed it in Roman Reigns' face. Zayn said that they won, and now Reigns has to remember that moment. No matter what happens, even if he goes into the Hall of Fame, he'll have to remember their faces as the guys that helped make the bloodline crumble. And Reigns deserves what he gets. We had another interruption. Promo interruption, promo interruption, promo interruption. It's just the cycle of Monday Night Raw. Imperium interrupted, and they said that the most impressive title defense was at Night of Champions when Gunther retained his championship. Kevin Owens was not amused with Ludwig Kaiser's comments, and Owens said he wanted to hear from the other guy, Giovanni Vinci, and referred to him as Baldy, and actually got the fans to chant Baldy at him. Then we had Kaiser saying that Vinci was being besmirched, which is an old word that William Regal used back in the day. I wonder if Regal helped write this promo. All of a sudden, shoosh, please. Chad Gable and Otis interrupt, and they were ready for their match. The time for talking was over. It was time to get in the ring and wrestle. Before the match, though, we had a video package, a little vignette for Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. They'll be coming to Monday Night Raw to probably lose to the women's tag team champions. But moving on here, we had our tag match. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were on commentary, and it was a pretty basic match. Maxine Dupree was out there, but she was chased away by Sarah Logan. Otis got in a hot tag, built up a lot of momentum, and then Chad Gable tagged back in and blew it for the team. So Otis does all this work. Gable comes in and loses. Good job, Chad Gable. Imperium bomb, 1, 2, 3. They pin Chad Gable. Yeah. I mean, I feel bad for Chad Gable. Guy is so talented and just doesn't get that recognition. But yeah, Imperium winning is what makes sense anyways, because you're trying to build them up for KO and Sami Zayn. We had our women's tag team title match to crown new champions. Of course, the titles were vacated when Liv Morgan got injured. And yes, Sami Zayn said American Alpha, which I've actually said on this stream. Honest mistake, guys. And I would not mind this, maybe reforming Team Angle, or maybe even make Team Gable with the Creed brothers. I think that's a good idea. So we had Raquel and her new partner, Shotzi Blackheart, versus Bayley and Io Sky, versus Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green, versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. And as Walter said, everybody knew who was going to win this match. You know, you had Chelsea Green not wanting to get tagged in, and her and Sonya were kind of having miscommunication. Shotzi came in, and Shotzi was slow on breaking up a pin attempt. And I feel like this happens a lot with her, and there's quite a few botches in Shotzi matches. I'm not sure what's going on with her. But this match was all right, just very predictable, and nothing too noteworthy in it as far as the in-ring action went. Mostly basic stuff here. And Raquel was doing a lot of the work for her team. You had Ronda Rousey tag in, and things started to change. We had a little Tower of Doom spot with Shotzi, Io, and Rousey. Crowd, of course, popped for that, as they always do. And Rousey looked like she was maybe in trouble, but then Shotzi went for her senton. Rousey caught her, put her in a submission, and Shotzi instantly tapped out. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, new tag team champions. Shotzi basically in the match to tap out to Ronda. I know a lot of people are not happy with this, but I mean, this is honestly the best option, in my opinion. I know people are down on Ronda Rousey, but they need to do something with her. And I think this is a useful way to try and elevate the titles, give Ronda and Shayna the opportunity. And Shayna's getting a push. You know, you guys that are complaining about this, Shayna is getting a push now. And they're gonna be a dominant team. So to me, that's good for Shayna. Let's see what happens. The titles will be elevated with Ronda as champion. So that's one thing also that you can at least consider, that Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler are going to be dominant champs, giving the titles some credibility, which they very desperately need. I don't have a problem with them being the tag champs. Ronda's not going for one of the world titles, so let them do what they're going to do with the tag team titles. And let them have a lengthy reign. I know people are going to say, oh, Ronda's taking the spot away from somebody else, or Ronda's boring, she's bad on the mic. You know, they'll use whatever line, but I think it's the right call right now to try and get the titles elevated and make people take them seriously. Moving on here, we had Dolph Ziggler versus JD McDonagh, whatever his name is. And JD was very aggressive. He threw Dolph Ziggler to the outside, threw Ziggler into the steps, and both guys ended up getting counted out. So not really a match here, basically an angle. JD was just beating the crap out of Ziggler and said that Ziggler will remember his name. It was a fine angle. I mean, Dolph Ziggler, like The Miz, is basically just there to put over other people. That's the purpose he serves. We had, well, before we go to the next segment here, Endeavor representative sent in a $9.99 super chat. Thank you for that, Endeavor. Says, I could take a horrendous dump, wipe my ass for 3 hours, and it would be more entertaining than anything WWE puts out. What's sad is Mark and Jimmy will buy WrestleMania tickets the day they go on sale. Well, to be fair, I don't think this was a bad show. So I know you're just frustrated right now, but even you will complain and still buy tickets the day they go on sale. Just saying. And this is another sign that Vince only has so much say, because this JD McDonagh, whatever the hell his name is, like, if Vince was in charge, he would just be JD, or they would outright change his name. I'm not a fan of JD McDonagh. To me, it's not catchy. It's not memorable. It's hard to pronounce. Maybe I'm just an idiot, but I'm not a fan of the name. Needs a name change. And plus, you already have Judgment Day. JD, Judgment Day. Like, we have 2 JDs on Raw. Vince would never allow that. It would never happen if Vince McMahon was fully in control. So it is what it is. Cody Rhodes came to the ring for a promo, arm in a sling. Of course, he's got the broken arm. He talked about the Brock Lesnar loss, and he said that he did not tap out because that's not the man he wants to be. He said that, like John Cena, he never gives up. And he had a question for Brock Lesnar, who was on his, as Cody put it, annual vacation. Is Brock Lesnar satisfied with what he did? Because it's 1 apiece. It's 1-1. Cody issued an open challenge to Brock Lesnar, which pretty much we all knew was coming, that they were going to do the 3rd rubber match. So if they're doing this at SummerSlam, I'm going to be very disappointed. I'm just throwing that out there right now. 100% it should be Cody versus Roman Reigns. I don't want to see it play out to WrestleMania next year. I want them to finish the story at SummerSlam and let Roman Reigns do what he's going to do with the Usos without the title being in the mix. That's what I would like to see. But Cody Rhodes would have to win Money in the Bank, I think, for that to happen, unless they do the wild card rule again. I mean, they could, right? Hopefully they do the 3rd match. I don't even know when, because Cody should be in Money in the Bank, right? So not doing the match at Money in the Bank would mean Cody can be in the Money in the Bank match. I mean, I guess he could do both, but I really think they should save Cody and Brock 3 a little bit down the line, maybe in the fall, maybe Survivor Series, something like that. Whatever. So yeah, we got the tease, and Cody even said that Brock Lesnar's not man enough to tap him out, and if Lesnar doesn't accept the challenge, it proves that he is afraid of Cody Rhodes. So that means Brock Lesnar will answer the challenge, and we very well could get it at Money in the Bank, but then how does Cody win Money in the Bank unless he's a last-minute entrant or something? He's the 7th guy to enter the match, which we've definitely seen plenty of times. We had Gunther confronting Matt Riddle backstage, and Gunther hopes that Matt Riddle can win Money in the Bank and cash it in on him so we could beat up Matt Riddle. Why not just have a match? Why does Riddle need to win Money in the Bank for them to have a match? I don't know. We had a backstage promo from Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, basically just saying they're the baddest team on the planet. Not too much else to say about it. The shorter their promos are, the better. I still think they need a mouthpiece. We had Shinsuke Nakamura versus Bronson Reed in a Money in the Bank qualifier. Strong start for Bronson Reed, and he no-sold some of Shinsuke's punches. Nakamura eventually built up some momentum, but then Reed regained control, went up top for the tsunami, but missed. Shin hit a knee strike, and hit the Kinshasa, sending Reed to the outside. And I thought we were going to get some kind of shenanigans here, like a count out or something. But Reed instead got back in the ring right before the 10 count and got hit with another Kinshasa, and Nakamura won. I was actually surprised by this one. I thought for sure Bronson Reed was winning this. They're trying to build up Bronson as this monster, and he lost. Now, Nakamura, they've also been pushing. He's gotten a renewed push, but at the end of the day, Bronson Reed is the younger guy and the guy that really needs to be protected in the booking. So, yeah, I did not see this one coming. I think Nakamura is the better choice for Money in the Bank, but still, I was not expecting it to go down like this. We had our main event of the evening, Judgment Day versus Seth Freakin Rollins and SmackDown's AJ Styles. It looked like it was going to be Damian Priest and Dominic in the match, but it was a swerve, and Finn Balor attacked Rollins from behind. Rollins, though, recovered and slid to the outside of the ring and hugged Rhea Ripley, put his arm around Rhea Ripley, basically. This was a recreation of the Shawn Michaels and Melina spot from like 2006, 2007, somewhere around there. And Rhea Ripley thought it was Dominic putting his arm around her, and she turned over, saw it was Rollins, and she completely freaked out. Fun spot there. Match went back and forth for the main event, and Balor and Priest were perhaps on the verge of winning, but Balor missed the coup de grace. Styles came in. Priest nailed the razor's edge to Styles, but then Seth Rollins came in with a stomp to Priest. Rollins tagged back in, won the match with the curb stomp. Match was good, but it was very predictable for me. Like, Seth Rollins is not going to lose his first match as the new champion. They would really be out of their minds to have Rollins lose. Now, of course, Styles could take the fall, but Rollins would still technically be losing a match right after becoming the new world champion. So they had to win, and I was disappointed because there was no cliffhanger. It was just a match, and Rollins and Styles celebrated, and Raw went off the air. No teaser for anything, no clue who's going to be Rollins' opponent, nothing. No hook for next week's show. It was just Seth Rollins and AJ won a match, and Styles goes back to SmackDown. So kind of a lackluster ending, in my opinion. I'm a big fan of the cliffhangers and doing something at the end to get you hooked on next week, and they did nothing at the end. Kind of flat, in my opinion. Overall, SmackDown was a pretty decent show. I enjoyed most of it. Crowd was good. Wasn't a big fan of the ending, but it was a fun show overall. So I'm going to go with a B- on this one. Not too bad. It was Memorial Day, so maybe they just didn't want to shoot a big angle because it's probably going to be a lower viewership than usual for Raw. And, they're just starting to slowly build up Money in the Bank. They got a bit of time. They got the whole month of June to build it up. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, you seem to dislike matches that are too predictable. Yeah. If there's a good story, then I can overlook that. But if it's a predictable match that really has no storyline advancement, then I'm not a big fan of it. Okay, apparently I said SmackDown instead of Raw, but you guys know what I mean. This episode of Monday Night Raw was a B-. Walter Cruz with a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Walter. Says, LA Knight should win Money in the Bank. Find a more creative way to get Cody versus Roman by SummerSlam. Anyways, say yes to no DQ. # stick to my shtick. Thank you for that, Walter. Much appreciated, says the LA Knight comment. And I would love to see that happen, but I feel like the only way we can logically get Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam is for Cody to win Money in the Bank. I feel like it has to be Cody, but there's no indication that he's going to be in it. Instead, they're teasing Brock Lesnar, so I don't think it's going to happen. Maybe LA Knight wins and goes after Rollins. Who knows? That's it for Raw, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the recap. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, a like on YouTube, and let me know your favorite moment of Raw on the YouTube channel at youtube.com/AaronRift.NoDQ. Looking forward to your comments and feedback. Have a great night, everyone. Enjoy your week. Take care, everyone. And make sure you tune in for the No DQ review Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific live. Catch it on demand if you're unavailable to watch it then. Going to be an interesting one. A lot to talk about coming off of a very busy wrestling weekend. Stay tuned for that. And remember, say yes to NoDQ.com, and I will see you all next time.